Hello my friend! In this video I am going to show you how you can start healing disorganized attachment, which is also known as fearful avoidant attachment. Please subscribe if you are new to the PSYCH Authority channel so I can help you with psychology and relationship videos every week. Now let's get straight into this video. Disorganized attachment is one of the main attachment styles in relationships. Now, if you aren't sure which attachment style you have, check the description below for a link to my video for a short quiz you can take to figure that out. When we have a disorganized attachment, it makes it very difficult for us to form healthy, stable relationships. Disorganized attachment can cause depression and anxieties, and also other serious mental issues that can severely impact our lives. We can get overwhelmed by the smallest amounts of stress. We might not be able to get or keep a job. And we might even end up in jail or in trouble with the law if we have a violent outburst and get too out of control. Now, the good news is that there are things that we can do to heal our disorganized attachment and begin forming more healthy relationships and enjoying our lives. So here is step 1. First, we need to understand how our brains work. When we experience something, our brain will quickly try to figure out if what we are experiencing is safe or if it is a threat. If our brain determines that something is a threat, it releases adrenaline to give us a boost of energy so that we can deal with the situation. For example, if our senses tell our brain that we are in a burning house, our brain will release adrenaline and quickly tell us to run and get out of there. Now the problem is, when we have a disorganized attachment style, our brain can be too sensitive and start determining that everything is a threat. So something as little as somebody slightly raising their voice or making a slightly negative facial expression could be interpreted by our brain as a threat and then cause our brain to flood our system with adrenaline. Now this can make something as simple as going to work or going to the grocery store extremely difficult when we have a disorganized attachment style, let alone trying to navigate the complex ups and downs of a romantic relationship. So that is the first thing we need to know about how our brain works. And that brings us to the first tool that we can use to start healing our disorganized attachment. So step 2 is we need to pay attention to our thoughts. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. The secret here is that our brain actually reacts to things that we imagine the same as it does to real events. Our brain cannot tell the difference between something that actually happens versus something that we are just imagining. Disorganized attachment usually results from us being raised in a negative, neglectful, or even a traumatic environment. And having a disorganized attachment style gives us a lot of negative thoughts that we automatically think every day. We think negative thoughts about other people. We think negative thoughts about ourselves. And we think negative thoughts about our day-to-day lives. We tend to imagine the worst-case scenario all the time. We do not trust other people because we think they will fail us. So the key here is to start challenging and changing these automatic negative thoughts into more positive thoughts. When someone smiles at us while we're at the grocery store, we might be suspicious and think they are making fun of us if we have disorganized attachment. When someone offers to help us, we might think that they actually have ulterior motives, or imagine that they are offering to help us because they think we are too weak and we can't do it ourselves. This goes on and on and on all day, every day in the mind of someone with disorganized attachment. And all of these negative and automatic thoughts can keep us in a perpetual state of distrust and even a constant state of fight or flight because we are interpreting everything as a threat. A good way to think of this is it's kind of hard to do your banking or pay attention at school when you are constantly being flooded with adrenaline at the drop of a hat. So the first step that we need to take here is to pay attention to our own thoughts and feelings. When we have a disorganized attachment style, our emotions can often be chaotic and unpredictable, and sometimes we don't even understand why we act and feel the way that we do. So, the next time we start feeling stressed or anxious, we need to slow down and try to figure out why we might be feeling that way. If we are out in public and we feel that we need to get out of there, we need to flee, we should slow down and figure out why. Are we afraid that the other people around us are judging us? Are we imagining that we will do something stupid and other people will laugh at us? Are we remembering that one time that someone said something mean to us and we are imagining that that will happen again? We need to figure this out. Just allowing our minds to focus on the actual thoughts and feelings that we are having is a huge first step in healing our disorganized attachment style. Only when we start to really understand that yes, we indeed are flooded with negative, life-ruining thoughts day in and day out, will we truly understand and accept how important it is that we change our thoughts. Now, after we begin to listen to our own thoughts, that brings us to the next step, which is step 3, rewiring our brain for success. Once we realize how steeped in negativity we are, the next step is to force ourselves to think differently. Now, this can be difficult at first, but the more we practice it, the more natural it becomes. The more we think the same things over and over, the deeper ingrained they become in our minds. And the deeper ingrained these automatic thoughts are, the harder and more uncomfortable it can be to try and stop them. But that doesn't mean it is impossible. In fact, it's completely possible. So, throughout the day, every day, we need to start being our own motivational coach and saying things to ourselves like, "This is gonna go really well for me. I've got this. I can do this. No one even knows that I'm feeling anxious right now. Everything is gonna go just fine." Now, if this seems too weird for us, we can also try this. We should start pretending that we have hired our own personal motivational coach that follows us around everywhere we go, every minute of every day. And our coach knows when we are thinking something negative. And right when we start thinking something negative, our coach steps in and tells us the positive thought that we should be thinking. And if all that still seems too weird, well, that's too bad because we need to do this anyway. And the more we practice forcing ourselves to think positive thoughts, the less anxiety and dysfunctional behavior we will see manifesting in our lives. And over time, thinking positively will become more and more automatic to us and less weird. Another way to do this is by playing something like Self-Talk Plus in the background for 15 or 20 minutes every day. Self-Talk Plus was developed by Dr. Shad Helmstetter, PhD, and it is based on his many years of research about how thoughts influence the mind. Now, what Dr. Helmstetter discovered is that most of us actually grow up with hundreds, if not thousands, of hours worth of negative talk in the background. We hear other people talking negatively, and this negative talk gets embedded into our brain, and this goes with us as we grow up into adults. And all this negative talk just keeps playing on a loop over and over in our subconscious mind constantly every day. And this has a massive negative impact on the quality of our lives. So listening to Self-Talk Plus every day can start to rewire our brains to play a more healthy and positive tape in our subconscious. Now you can hit the link down in the description below to check out Self-Talk Plus. I highly recommend it. So now that we understand how our brains work and how to start paying attention to and changing our thoughts, we can take the first steps to healing our disorganized attachment. Please leave a like and share this video if you have found it helpful. And if you would like to know even more ways that you can start healing disorganized attachment, click here to watch this next video, and I will see you there.